Hello, I am Yuri, and today on this video we are going to look at the skill tree, the most confusing thing in the game in my opinion. This is what took me the most to study and to actually understand it. Now, as you guys know, I'm not going into specifics when it comes to building your skill tree. I'm not going to tell you the order, only this is first perfection. This actually changes around every patch, so by the time you guys are seeing this, it should be already outdated. So I'm just going to tell you how this works in general, because there are some things that are in the core of the game and do not change. So let's start. First of all, as you guys can see, there are 4 categories of the skill tree. What are these in specific? You have the yellow. By the way, with patches this could change from place, but right now they're over here. We have the yellow, which normally is the economy. This works pretty much as the buildings that you saw on other videos. The economy helps you get resources faster, gets you more spice, more money, more plascrete. Actually, not manpower. We already know manpower works differently. Base fuel also, but it gives you more water. So yeah, this is where you get these types of resources, and it gives you those types of buffs, as well as unlocking buildings that are specific to the economy. So you should always read, as you guys can see, unlocks investment, office, village, building. Then you need to read it and see what it does. So this is the yellow. Next is red. This is where the military comes. So this gives you manpower. This pretty much makes your army stronger, makes him more tanky, makes him faster, whatever. And obviously, just like the economy one, unlocks buildings that are supposed, and by the way, military units, but mostly, I'm just going to talk the buildings a bit, sorry. It unlocks you buildings to buff your military, and can unlock your military, so you need to look at it. Next is the blue one, which is politics. This is going to be the tree that will help you on the council most of the time. This will buff your buildings that are blue, that give you knowledge, intel, influence, pretty much everything that helps you understand and get information on your enemy, and whatever helps you on the council. So, and obviously, as always, also unlocks buildings that help you with this. So, as you guys can see, all of these just pretty much, oh, forgot, thank god, this also unlocks you somewhat of military. I normally don't like the military that this unlocks. I most of the time do it for the buildings. These militaries are not bad, but I just don't really like to use them. It's not my playstyle, but it does give you some militia that you could use if you're more aggressive. But it also, and this is very important, helps you with the agents, helps you unlocking agents. Again, everything that has to do with information pretty much is over here. Just getting the agents to get information on your enemy, or unlocking operations, whatever. It's all over here. And finally, you have the green skill tree, as well as giving you levels up faster. So, for example, here, gives me 0.5 knowledge, which helps me here on the tree. This is how you get it, is through knowledge. Knowledge, again, is you get through blue buildings. So you just need to read it. And knowledge is pretty much the how fast you get the perks. So the more knowledge you have over here, the faster this bar will fill up, and the faster you'll get these buffs. You can always choose up to 3 buffs, and they'll go through the order. Sorry, 4 buffs actually. 1, it'll start to go right away, as you guys can see here. The first, as soon as this one fills up, it'll go next, and so on and so forth. That's how, this is the basic. Now, you need, unfortunately, this goes very specific into factions. For example, when it comes to Atreides, we really love the economic, the politics, and then the green. Normally, as Atreides, we really like these 3. Most of the time, we like these 2. Economy is normally expansion. Oh, there you go. Okay, so the name is expansion. Here is statecraft and military. Okay, these are I never actually read them. I really don't care. So normally every single faction likes the economy, because this helps them get more of the resources at the beginning, and pretty much gives them more money, And then, for example, Atreides really enjoys the politics, so they usually like the blue a lot. And for example, the Arconians really like to be aggressive, so they usually like to buff of their militia. So that's how this every single tree goes. Obviously, you want to up them a lot. Every single one of them, you want to up them. You don't want to leave any single one like to start off at least. But for example, I'm going to give the example as Atreides. You really like to not focus on militia and try to make sure that your villages are easy to manage and give you insane amount of resources. So then you can abuse them by making trades with people, offering them money, or going into the council and just using a lot of influence. Pretty much we are passive, we do not go into others' territory most of the time, they come into ours. But for example, with Arconian, it's the other way around. They really like to buff their militia because they are going into other territories, and then they like to, they like to, for example, go over here with the expansion because they like to conquer our territory. So they like these two, while for example Atreides might prefer these two, and this varies in every faction. So you need to adapt your skill tree to every faction, but there are some common grounds here. As you guys can see here, we have a banner of Atreides in some of these. These are the specifics skills that every faction has. The other ones are pretty much shared between all of them, so they'll do the same. So you can read all the common ones so you understand where they are and what they do, so you kind of start growing on your skill tree more automatically. And then you just need to look at the specific ones and read them and see what fits your playstyle. But the common ground is not only do you share some of these, most of the time at the beginning you do like some economic development. This again is just to help you start off and keep your resources somewhat on the positive before you start investing on too much militia and then you start going too much into war and you cannot keep up with this. For example, another thing is you start getting so much political power but you're not paying your your spice tax on time, for example. So normally you do like to put your economic development first, just at the beginning. I'm not saying that you need all of these. The game is super slow. You don't need all of these three right at the beginning. You choose like one, maybe 1, 2 here to get the crew on Harveston, get some more spice at the beginning. You could do that. You can go urban planning as well, like it gives you, like this is specific for me as a trade, it lets me build every single building as I want at the same time. So normally a faction needs to, let's imagine he makes spice silos and then they just need to wait for that building to finish constructing to start building a new one. With Atreides, with that specific, you pretty much can do it all of the same time, all of them at the same time. So it's pretty good. And then you have the ones that you share. So normally you like to go over here and one over here just to keep your economics. So as you guys can see, you need minus 30% salary upkeep and minus 1 water to keep all of them on the positive. Same here, same here. So normally you really enjoy this part of the economic, but I'm not saying you will always going here right at the beginning. This is just something for you to think about. And then the rest is pretty much always faction specific. So you need to go into a lot of bot games, you need to research, see what works for you. So you like playing Arconian, you already understand that Arconians are very aggressive. Don't worry, you'll get that right away. And it's like, oh, I'm doing so well over here, but what is going on? And maybe that's the economics going down, or maybe you cannot help slowing down people on the council, so maybe you need to develop some more of these. Anything, maybe you're an expansion, you don't have authority enough to take the territories that you want to conquer. So this pretty much goes over here at the expansion development. You need to just look through here and pretty much practice a little bit with bots and understand the flow of your faction. That's pretty much it. But yeah, this was the guide. I know, skill tree, I cannot go into specifics. This is because it's the thing that changes the most through patches. So I just try to generalize the whole thing, and you really need to study your skill tree. I suggest you go into a bot game. and go into a bot game and read through all of the skill tree of a faction that you really want to master, and then just try and play 2 to 3 games. Yes, those 2 to 3 games will be 2 hours long each, but it's very important for you to understand the skill tree. I believe the operations with the agents and the skill tree are the kind of the hardest to understand, but are the most crucial ones. When it comes to the map and villages, it's pretty much the most simple thing. You guys can get that right away. I got it right away as soon as I saw the buffs and understood how to construct my buildings effectively. But I suggest you try some of these things on bot games, and then you go into multiplayer. But thank you so much. I think this was the last video of a guide. I told you the ways of winning games. Pretty much now you just need to try and understand the flow of your faction and the flow of the game. If there's something I missed, please do tell me in the comments. I believe so. Again, I'm covering through the basics that the tutorials of the game do not cover. So yeah, thank you so much and goodbye.